In this video I'm going to be discussing circular saws, or another common name for them is skill saw. But like with the Sawzall, it's a trade name. Skill makes these saws, but they're circular saws. They have a circular blade and they rotate circularly. That's why they call them circular saws. But a lot of people just call them skill saws. So I'm going to go through the parts of these so you understand what they're for and how they're using them. Okay, first, the most important thing is this blade safety cover right here. Okay, you always keep this down. Most accidents happen when people using these, they want to go faster, so they push that up and keep it up, and then the blade kicks back. I know people that cut off their fingers with these things, not from getting their hand in front of it as they're using it, but from behind, and the saw kicks back because they bound it up on a piece of wood, and then it cut them because that safety wasn't down. Sometimes this safety honestly gets in the way and slows you down, but you have to learn to work with it, or else it could be a bad accident in the future if you're not careful. Next is this plate right here. This plate does two things. It sets your depth of your cut, and it could also set the angle you want to cut. So let's talk about the depth of it. I think the deepest this can cut is like 2.5 inches. And you could adjust it with this lever right here to either go less or all the way up like that. So depending how thick the wood is, you can adjust this to cut. And the idea is you really don't want to have it sticking too far below the piece of wood, because you never know. You could have a sawhorse or something below you, you're not paying attention, you're going to cut that, you really don't want to cut the sawhorse. So that's one of the things this plate does. The other thing is, you could adjust to cut this up to a 45-degree angle. 0 to 45, depending upon what you want to do. And it says the angle right here when you're doing it. Actually, this goes 0 to 45 right there. Okay, 0 to 45 max is what it'll cut. It says 51, maybe 45 is usually where people stop. 45. So that's what that plate does. Next thing I'm going to show you how to do is change the blade. Like with the grinder, this arbor, what we call it, keeps on rotating, and you put a wrench on there, you're not going to be able to loosen it unless that arbor is locked. And the way we lock it is this button right here. So what you got to do is you've got to rotate this blade until that right there like that goes in. Then this one has got the wrench attached in there to go to that. Now the way these skill saws work is the opposite of what you think. Usually it's lefty-loosey, righty-tighty, but in this case it's righty. If you turn it clockwise, it's going to end up loosening it. Maybe. Hold on. I mean, this one's different. Well, what do you know? In this case, it's the regular way. Righty is loose in this one. Lefty is loose, excuse me. Most skill saws that I've used, in fact all of them I used, with the exception of this one here, the framing ones, goes the opposite. But you end up taking this nut loose. And this part pops out too. Put that one. Okay. That's how you take it off and replace it. Now, pay attention to the way the blade goes on. Most blades, when you get them, it shows you the way it's supposed to be rotating. Right there, okay? So this teeth come from, the way this rotates is counterclockwise. So you want to put the teeth coming up like that. Okay. Same thing when you tighten it. You have to have this button depressed over here, or else it's not gonna, so I've got to find where the notch is, so that button will go down right there, and like that. Tighten back up, put the wrench back where you found it, so next time you have to change the blade, it's easy to find. And I'll put my goggles on and I'll cut a piece of wood. Now when I cut, the hand that's not holding the saw, I hold it where it's supported, not on the other side. So I'm left-handed, so this is the way I do it. If you're right-handed, you would not do this. That's not a good way of doing it. You would get on the other side, so you're supporting the wood with that hand and cut. In fact, I'll do it right-handed. Make sure the blade stops rotating before you put it down. And that's it for the skill saw.